Hello and welcome to me going through a little bit of Wham. Now, I've had a few goes at doing this, but it just doesn't feel like it's gone. So I thought, well, I'll just have another go. Um, that's just the thing to do, just have another go. Now, first up is, well, we're going to go for it with the Young Guns. Now, this is the UK copy, and can't you tell that the previous owner looked after it so well? I always kind of felt that looked a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. Maybe that's the idea. So let's go for a little jigsaw puzzle, though the pieces wouldn't really fit very well, I don't think. The middle photo there was kind of a bit of a quintessential Wham thing there, doing those sort of cheesy poses that we came to expect from the 80s. And next up is the UK copy of, and they went all out on this cover. They absolutely must have thought, well and truly, they must have thought very hard on which shade of blue to use, which shade of red to make, but it gets better. Look at that. Isn't that a fantastic hero? But anyway, this was them enjoying, so they went for it in the other one and they're enjoying what they do in this one. And it's parts 1 and 2, which effectively means, I guess, you enjoy one side and it's what you do on the other. Don't know. But as expected of the 80s, it's a remix. Everything was remixed back in the 80s. Doesn't say what kind of club though. Hopefully it doesn't have spikes on it, otherwise that would be a bit nasty. But I like how it's kind of Wham wrapped, like one word. Oh, maybe that's the idea. You enjoy, who knows. Yeah, all sorts of things you could do with that. Next up is this is another copy of Wham Wrap. And I shouldn't have done it that fast because the single could have flown out like that. But at least there's some attempt at artistry there. Kind of looks nothing like them, but I guess that didn't matter. They actually kind of look like a couple of zombies, really. Probably just as well it's in profile and not looking at you. I think then it would be sort of Nightmare on Elm Street Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Friday the 13th. Whatever, it just makes them look like a couple of zombies. As long as we knew that it was the special US remix and that it was Wham looking like it was drawn in the sand, actually. Yeah. Now, the one that really flew them off into the stratosphere, this one. And here we have our gorgeous 80s makeup with a bit of Dalmatian action happening too. Dalmatian in positive and Dalmatian in negative. I've got to wonder how long it would have taken to apply that sort of makeup. But that was the thing that got them happening was the jitterbugs and choosing life. Now the story goes was, I believe it's actually an anti-abortion t-shirt, but they didn't know that it was an anti-abortion t-shirt, so they just and of course you've got to have the 80s dancing of sort of doing all of that. It was just everyone seemed to do that, including me. That's how I've been able to get it down pat. Like, oh, hang on, you got it sort of, but you wouldn't hear that. But yes, I'm not going to get out the black lights and do a fluoro thing unless I can find an effect on here. That'd be kind of groovy. Now we'll just have to sort of do a bit more like this, just in case. Don't know what it'll look like, but it'll look bizarre. Alright, now on to the next one I think, but I better clear up the picture first. Oh yeah, that's a single copy of Wake Me Up Before You Go Go that has no cover, so but I thought I was... And next up is Last Christmas. Now, yeah, I know, you've got to use your little finger, because in sign language that's bad. So Andrew Ridgely's being bad. He's being a bad boy. With, I wonder what those presents contained. I wonder what George is pointing to there with his thumb. It wouldn't be a Christmas without this little number playing. Now the extended version of this just goes on a little bit more with George's falsetto. You know, a bit more. Ah, last So I think there's just like about another minute and a half of, well, it's like a lot of 12 inches, isn't it? They just would extend the end with a bit more ad-libbing or a bit more instrumental, or a drum machine going ballistic. And how about that silly story of Barry Manilow thinking that he should sue them because the song reminded him of his arrangement of Can't Smile Without You? It's kind of, you're suing people for your arrangement. Good grief, if that started to take legs, could you imagine how many lawsuits would be flying around the place? Now, next up, we have George in his well, I suppose we could say it's his Princess Diana period. Even he was quoted somewhere along the lines of saying that his hair was very much like Princess Diana, and it was either him on the front cover of the news or her on the front cover of the news, and sometimes who could tell the difference because of the hair. George looks like he wants to jump out of the camera and murder you, actually. And it's kind of, maybe he really doesn't want you to have his freedom. Or maybe the idea is that he's looking at you saying, sort of like, get me out of this photo, I want my freedom. I always loved it. It's one of those ones where it's very upbeat. The tempo is very upbeat, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of like definitely not an upbeat lyric. It's one of those ones where you almost kind of lulled into a false sense of security there. It's like, oh no, hang on, that was the Last Christmas. I was going, that's the Last Christmas thing. I don't want your freedom. I don't want to play. You know, so as opposed to, I want your freedom. I want you to play around. Bit of a difference. Now, we've gone back to, you know, how I showed you the Wham rap cover. Well, this one is kind of a different shade, but still just as bland. Although we've got the rainbow there. Now we've got to kind of wonder, I found myself wondering years later whether the rainbow was actually a deliberate thing. Obviously because of George being gay. And he's saying, I'm your man, with a rainbow going up the side. So you're all grey with a rainbow up the side saying, I'm your man. Oh dear. I could describe a rainy day in a park or something. Wow. But at least with the penultimate single, with Edge of Heaven, we got sort of George's hasn't put the hairdryer away just yet, but the blonde tips have gone. I sort of remember an interview in Smash Hits where George was saying with this and the other stuff that it was forced. He was kind of felt like these songs were forced with their structure and stuff like that. You're almost given the impression he didn't particularly like them. He just felt he had to do them. And I suspect that's probably why they wound up just having an EP, a farewell EP, as opposed to a full-on LP. And speaking of EPs with fantastic covers attached to them, this is the UK version. Oh, look, and it's reflecting too. Oh, I love it when these things reflect. Hello. There we are. It's just a thing, isn't it? But open it up and look at that. Look familiar? I would say so. There we are. But this one's bigger and contains more too. It's got a single either side. Yep, nothing better than having a single on the side. Having two singles on the side. Especially when one is asking, where did your heart go? So, yeah, scanning these is just... It's always a bit of a nightmare. Now, I actually preferred the Wham Rap 86 to the original, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know why, but I always preferred that version. Maybe because it was more modern. 4 years more modern? I don't know. Now, going back to I'm Your Man, the 12-inch version of that I actually didn't mind. It was a bit longer, but it had George doing this hilarious thing. See, baby, this is a magic car. Magic car. And of course it had to have a bit of this and not so much of that, but he just had to get you into his magic car. But the inference in the thing was, oh yeah, and all that sort of stuff was kind of like, yeah. It's like, oh yeah. But I suppose if you want to do it right and do it with me. Okay, next. And lucky last, we have never knew why this was released. Where did your heart go? It felt like it was, I don't know. This is the UK copy, like most of these are. Oh look, there's a big hole in it. That's all I'll do. I don't know. I don't really think this did anything. I don't think this went anywhere. Yeah, I don't know why that was released as a single, but I actually really didn't like it very much. It was almost like trying to ride, or still riding on the coattails of it being the final Wham thing. Maybe they couldn't get over Elton John appearing as Ronald McDonald in that final concert. I don't know. I could never work out why it was released in that kind of dreary black and white clip that went with it too. But if you flip these over, you've got a rainbow. Just could see that. Well, where did your heart go? I think it landed over there. Yeah, alright. Where did my heart go? I think my heart will toddle off now. Oh, and the rest of me too. That would be a bit of a mess, wouldn't it? Anyway, this is where my heart will go. It will toddle off, and thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate the fact that you were sort of tuning in and saying hello and stuff like that. Any comments, I'll always reply to them. Please be nice. Anyway, I shall sign off for now, and please do those likes and subscribes and bells and whistles, blah 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 blah. This kind of, I noticed that I was doing that at the end of every video and it became this thing, so I just thought, oh well, we'll just make it more sort of extravagant. So thank you very much for watching. Please take care of yourself, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Ciao. Well, if you want to jitterbug, you put the boom boom into my heart. You let the soul sky high when... Oh God, that's turning it into a Bee Gee. You let the soul sky high when you come in. Oh dear, oh dear. Catch you later.